We've become so good at insight, haven't we? We can name our triggers, we can explain them, we can articulate our fears and anxieties, and yet knowing all that, our behaviour stays the same. It's one of the most frustrating experiences that I see in my clients, and one of my own personal frustrating experiences. I spent 2 years in psychotherapy, trying to get over a situation and kind of understand how it happened so it wouldn't happen again. And while I can now articulate what happened and my triggers and manage them to a certain extent, I didn't want to have them. I didn't want to be exhausted constantly under recognizing the pattern, going, oh, I know what's going on here, I need to do. I didn't want all that. So nothing moved forward for me until I'd had some NLP therapy, because our behaviour is driven by something deeper. It's driven by automatic patterns, by emotional responses, by learned associations, and they operate much faster than our conscious thought. So knowing why you do something doesn't automatically change how your system responds to it. That's why we keep having, it's why we are triggered. And that's not a failure on effort on our part, okay? It's a misunderstanding of how change actually happens within our brains, within our body. So if you think in coaching, in personal development, or just in change work, insight is often treated as the outcome. And once someone gets it, we expect movement. But that insight without integration is what creates friction, because you know better, but you don't act differently. And that's where the frustration sets in. You feel frustrated with yourself, you start questioning your abilities, your discipline, your commitment, even your own mind. In reality, it's simply that the system hasn't been updated yet. And that's what NLP adds, that awareness alone can't. Okay, that's where it comes in to play. NLP works, it's neuro-linguistic programming. NLP works beneath the insight, works with our subconscious mind. So it looks at how our experiences are encoded, how we attach meaning to them, how our emotional and physical responses are patterned, like how they show up. And it's only when those patterns are interrupted and shift, that's when our behaviour follows. Okay, and often without any force or effort, it just happens effortlessly. We don't need to remind ourselves how to do it, we just do. And it's amazing when that happens. It's very freeing and less exhausting. So you'll find that real change rarely arrives through a breakthrough moment. It shows up in quieter places. So it'll show up like in a different response to where an old one used to sit. There's less overthinking or internal negotiation, and you'll feel much more comfortable in situations that used to feel a lot more charged, like that would cause those heart palpitations. That's when you know that the insight has been embodied, not just understood. So instead of asking, oh, why do I do this? A more useful question, a better way of reframing it is, what would need to change internally for a different response to be automatic? That's where transformation actually begins. So if you recognise yourself in this, you're not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. As I said, awareness is just the first step. So I work with people who want that change to feel embodied and, most importantly, sustainable and not forced. More about the work that I do is linked below.